The gutter guard's off. It's called the fork lift technique. Get a couple of forks from your kitchen, and if your wife gives you trouble, just say "fork you," and it comes off here pretty easily. Then you can clean under the gutter, and then attach them back, and use the forks to bring up any sections that you need. If you're in a fork in the road and you're trying to decide what to do, consider the aluminum wire mesh and the fork lift technique. Okay, after you pry it up, then you could just slide this gutter guard to the left or right. And store the fork there. And you see there's a lot of old shingle crud, and I'm using a scooper garden trowel, only like $1.50 from the hardware store. It's plastic, and then scoop out all this old crud. It's fragments of the old roof. Now there's a newly shingled roof. So there's my fork technique to take off the gutter guard. And it doesn't do harm to the aluminum mesh. Keeps it nice and straight, and then you can put it back in again, snap it right in, and the fork will help to raise this top part, and then you can push it down over here. Alright. Made it nice and neat from before. Cleaned out that section of the gutter. It's time to put the gutter guard back on, and it's sitting there on the roof. I'm gonna make sure it's nice and straight. You do want to use gloves. I'm using hands because I got to hold the camera. And I want to have a slight bend to it, so it's a little concave. So there's a little bit of a hill going up. So I'm pushing down, but then I'm going to flip it over, so it bends up just a little bit. Okay, and make sure the aluminum is nice and straight. Make sure there's a groove here that's going to go into this groove on the top of the gutter. Okay, then I bring it up through here, around the ladder, slide it in there. Want a little bit of an overlap. There we go. And then press down to lock that groove into the top of the gutter. Nice. Now it's still a little bit of a hill going up and over, so I press down to flatten that out, and that puts pressure on the groove that keeps the gutter guard in place, keeps it from flying off in a high wind. I'm just going to press down again so it's nice and straight, and there we go. Back in. Now from time to time I keep my fork handy. If I need to pull up a little bit, or you can also, when you have your lunch, you got your fork ready to have your lunch on the roof. There's the fork lift technique with the aluminum mesh gutter guards. Is to have a putty knife to push in to make sure the gutter guard gets very snugly into the top of the roof. So I'm pushing in just a little bit, and with that flat edge it won't damage the gutter guard. And then you hear that snap. I like to have that snap right in so it'll stay put, even in a high wind. So you got your fork and not your knife, but you got your putty knife. When I'm securing the wire mesh, I pull it down slightly. It helps to secure the gutter guard because it's putting a little pressure outwards that way towards the camera to keep that groove snug against the gutter. So I just press down a little bit. For example, here this needs to go in more. I might use my putty knife and then press down to secure that in place. There we go. Yeah, so when I put the putty knife in, that helped the gutter guard snap into place. And then I'm pushing down, just gently down on the top, patting down the top to keep the outward pressure against the gutter so the gutter guard stays in place. So it ends up being a little bit of a concurve. There we go. And then for the next section, to release this gutter guard using the fork lift technique. Use a fork on, notice I'm on the side towards the roof, and notice that started to make this gap here. You can also use the fork or the other side of the fork to pry that up. So a fork is a very useful tool in roofing. Also, it's useful during lunchtime to eat your lunch. So there's both sides of the forklift technique. Okay, I'm getting a boy. It looks really messy under there. I want to wear gloves because this aluminum actually is a little bit sharp. So then let me plant my fork so I don't drop it. And then with this garden trowel, take out this junk, this roof kernel, granules from the old roof, organic shingles, dilapidated. Organic's good except for shingles. Organic food, that is. Alright, clearing out this dirty gutter. And then after I'm done, I'll be able to put this back in place and snap it in. This, you can see the V shape here that goes into the edge of the gutter. And if necessary, I can pull it up with the fork. After you use your fork to help with the gutter guard and roofing, make sure you wash the fork thoroughly before eating with it. Just a little safety message.